Hi everyone, welcome to my Pecha Kucha. My whole project has revolved around memory and how you can lose parts of yourself as it fades away. I've explored several different mediums throughout this project, primarily video and sound, as I thought that'd be the most effective to capture the meaning and emotion I'm exploring with this theme. Dementia and decay have been key sub-themes in both my physical and digital work this project. I've dealt with several personal topics in my previous work, but never mentioned dementia before, so I thought it could be a new direction for my practice. I tried to capture the feeling of forgetting and how your most simple or most treasured memories can be taken away from you. I drew this work for the Corridor exhibition and titled it Glimpse into Perpetuity. This revolves around the idea of eternity. I thought it contrasted nicely to these ideas of memory and decay I'm exploring in my practice, as it can be argued that the memory of something can last forever through imagery and writing. However, memory can and will decay, and eventually all things do fade away. The first key artist I researched was William Utemolan. The regression of his artwork parallels the decay of his mind as he suffered from Alzheimer's disease. His works portray a doomed man fighting to preserve his identity and artistic consciousness against the gradual progress of dementia. His works showed me how devastating the effects of dementia can be. This is one of the first works I made for this project. Inspired by William Utemolan, I wanted to draw someone, then develop the drawing to change and damage them to an extent. I like the contrast of the two drawings, however I think to make the altered work better, I could distress the paper and really transform the artwork into something new. I discovered Faye Hall's work in her book Art Begets Art. Her work, Journey Through Dementia, focuses on the regression of her mother's mind through dementia. As her mother forgot her own actions, she started to believe intruders were breaking in, and she left notes for them. Hall incorporated these notes into an artwork to file them away permanently, to remind us that we need to show more patience to those living in the prison of their anxieties. This book explores how artwork can become a vessel for communication, and how it can retain a sense of identity amongst those going through dementia. Anne Davis Basting held a workshop for those with dementia to raise awareness of the creative potential of those suffering with dementia. I thought this was an interesting concept, to show the potential of those suffering instead of their regression. After seeing how other artists have chosen to represent dementia in their practices, I wanted to portray these ideas in my own way. I decided to make a video filming my walk home in both light and dark, and also record some sound to match the video. I'd then cut out sections to give the impression I appeared somewhere new, without knowing how I got there, to represent the decline of someone's memory. This is a section of my video that demonstrates the cut between light and dark, and how mood and emotion can change quickly based on different environments. I altered both the sound and video to intensify the changes. Here I looked at the work of Evelyn Nicodemus, which focuses on the idea of retaining memory and reflecting upon her contrasting identities throughout her life. Nicodemus worked as a care nurse for elderly patients with dementia, some of which were violent. This is portrayed in her work, showing how terrifying the unknown can be, and how as you forget more, you leave but a shell of who you once were. Here's some effects I added to my video to make it more personal and intense. I added a vignette around the video to create the effect that you're looking through an eye, and then when it fades in and out, it's as if the eyes are opening and closing. I also added a negative flash effect in the more sporadic sections to reflect upon the worry and fear dementia patients can face when forgetting. Here's the effects I added to the sound to further intensify the contrast between light and dark in the video. When the video cut to dark,
I increased the pitch of the music to make that change more extreme.
I also made the music fade away throughout the video, and at the end of my video to reflect upon the fading of the memory. For my exhibition, I'm showing work at Eagle Heights Wildlife Foundation, which focuses primarily on the conservation of birds, so I thought I'd use the birds as a symbol to reflect upon the power of memory, as well as these ideas of decay I've been exploring. I've used birds to represent other concepts, as shown here in my previous artwork, so I thought it'd be interesting to use this structure again for a different theme. Here I've explored two different artists, Robert Bateman and John Philip Busby. Similarly to me wanting to use my birds to represent memory and decay, Bateman's bald eagle acts as a symbol to represent the issues our planet is facing in regards to conservation. Busby's artwork uses gannets to parallel society and how we interact with each other. This is my artwork that I have created for the exhibition. I've chosen to focus on a specific bald eagle for my work, that being Kayla. She was a famous eagle who lived at Eagle Heights but tragically died in 2020. In this work, I'm trying to show how elegant she was to focus on this idea that while something can decay, its memory can live on through others. I took Christian Markley as a great inspiration for my audiovisual work. His work, Video Quartet, brings together over 700 film clips linked by their focus on music or sound. He projected 4 synchronized videos onto 4 screens. This made me want to experiment with projection when exhibiting my video. This idea got developed even further in a group crit when it was suggested that I overlap multiple projections. This is going to show one of the more sporadic sections of my video. This work, Axial by Diana Zappato, is based on the MRI scans that led to her father's Alzheimer's diagnosis. When referencing the scans, Zappato said, "The view you get will not provide all the answers or necessary cures, but there is a beauty in the asking." I found this really interesting, how you can see beauty in an image with quite negative connotations. While there are still things I want to add to my video, I'm nearing the end of the process. It has been a tedious process, matching the audio perfectly with the video. However, after finishing that and adding some more effects onto the video to increase the quality, I think it resembles the issues and ideas I was trying to address. To make the story of the video flow better, I'd like to add in a few more clips throughout. However, I'm pleased with the final outcome. There are still many directions I want to take this project, with different mediums and different ideas. However, I'm pleased with what I've produced. Thanks for listening.